Ready?
You are?
All right, well, everybody, welcome. Al? Is everybody ready? Welcome to the February meeting of the Town of Ocean Ridge. Tracy, would you call the roll, please?
Absolutely. Vice Mayor Allison,
Here.
Commissioner Bonfiglio,
Here.
Commissioner Lucibella,
Here.
Mayor Pugh,
Here?
and let the record show that Commissioner Askoff is absent with notice.
Thank you. Okay, we'd like to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. You see before you the agenda. Are there any additions, deletions, modifications to it? If none, would somebody make a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Accept as read.
Motion is second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, announcements and proclamations. The administrative offices will be closed on Monday, the 15th of February for President's Day. We have a 2016 municipal election coming up, and the election will be held on March 15th, 2016. There's one commission seat open for a 3-year term, and we have 2 qualified candidates, which are Lynn Allison, or Vice Mayor Lynn Allison, and Steve Cos. Also, the proclamation declaring February 22nd through the 28th, 2016 as Eating Disorders Awareness Week. All right, this time we take public comment. Yes, sir. Justice, you're first.
Can you get up there, though?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Justice Brown. I live at 39 Coconut Road. I like to put some round stones on the easement to keep people from running over my grass. The easement. They run into it and make big, huge mud spots. You should see them up and down the road. It's a mess. The guy down the street, he already got them big round stones and they look pretty. So I figured I'd ask you people, would it be all right to do that? It's going to be like Malapan's road coming down Malapan. You ever see that? Well, they got little white stones on it. That's what I was going to do.
Well, I believe that'd be a question for the town manager.
Mayor, we have a specific process outlined in the code for those types of requests. It is a decision by the town manager. There's an indemnification agreement that needs to be prepared, so I'd suggest that Justice get together with Jamie and
Okay?
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
No problem.
Next up. Ladies first.
Christine Hanass at 29 Sable. I'm actually here tonight wearing my Florida Coalition for Preservation hat. 2 quick things. One is the Matrix group that is doing the fire EMT study has got an online survey that they want everybody to fill out. It's kind of it takes less than 5 minutes. It's very nonchalant, but it's mainly trying to get a feel for if we're happy with the services, what experience we've had with the services, and what we think could be improved, and if we would even be interested in going forward beyond the report. So I know it's probably on the website. So
It is.
I just encourage everybody, I'm preaching to the choir here, I'm encouraging everybody here, go to the website and fill it out. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was the Riverwalk project. That got a lot of discussion the other night in the workshop, and I just wanted to say thank you for the workshop. I thought it was absolutely wonderful. It was really one of the shining moments in all the town meetings that I've ever been to. So, and I love seeing you 5 years old in shorts with a with a snorkel in your hand. So I just wanted everybody to be aware. Several different groups have reached out to the coalition, and as you know, what we do is our mission is to promote responsible development and to coalesce concerned citizens and kind of get them organized and get them educated. So that is what is happening. There is a group that has been that is being formed right now. It's called Boynton Coalition for Responsible Development. Kind of hoping if we give it a jazzy name like that, it'll kind of stick. We're not sure. But right now we have representatives from over 3,600 households. And of that, probably about 2,800 of them actually are Boynton residents, which is going to be very important in having our voices heard in any sort of fashion with this group. So, but not the tail wagging the dog, but we would love to have a lot of people, obviously from Ocean Ridge and Gulfstream, also involved in the project. Anybody who goes over the Woolbright Bridge is going to be affected by this. So, and I think it feeds right into some of the comments that we had at the workshop in terms of the
Thank
Could you
you.
say the name of it again? I'm sorry.
Boynton Coalition for Responsible Development.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next. Terry?
Terry Brown, Harvard Drive South, and Justice Brown reminded me that we were related, as all of us are. Because I made a comment once that we weren't related. I wanted to talk briefly about this section of the meeting, public comments. And we've already illustrated the purpose of it, that citizens come up and can talk to the commissioners about anything that's related to town government, right? I mean, and that's the a point of this, except when you have other items on the agenda where you request public comments, so like the public hearing. And the comments could be anything related to town government. And the response, I believe, should be respected. The citizens have a right to say anything, as long as they don't use swear words and threaten you or anything like that. So when I made the suggestion that somebody that, first of all, you had an employee, a longtime employee that was walking out the door with a bag full of money, pardon the expression, $17,000 in separation pay. And that was shocking enough to some people, believe me. I'm not the only person in this town that set them back. Then you wanted to spend another a bunch of money by the private party to boost it up to $20,000 on one employee. And when I brought that to your attention, I was called names. I was called petty. I have a right as a citizen, as all citizens do, to question how town money is being spent and what it's being spent on. This is public funds, taxpayers' funds, so don't ever get upset when someone brings that issue up. It's bad enough having to watch the money go out the door from the commissioners the way in which you approve it, okay?
Thank you, Terry. Thank you for your comment.
Well, you do. You appreciate it. I'm not finished yet. I'm not going over my 3 minutes.
Okay?
Okay? The other thing I wanted to mention is after that wonderful display of bringing the community together at the workshop, and all that time that people spent giving you their opinion about what should happen, it was almost unanimous. There were a few that weren't, but most of it was leave it alone.
Right, always said
This is a wonderful part of our community. The chief pointed out he didn't see me today on my bike because I didn't go on my bike today. But I'm there almost every day on my bike. The problems that people were discussing that wanted changes don't exist. And it was just depressing at the end of the meeting to have 3 commissioners say, oh, well, that was wonderful, we really appreciate it, we love you all, but we still want to think about doing changes. So I think you need to pay attention to what the community wants. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you.
Stella?
Stella Cole, 204 Beachway Drive. I originally wanted to come here and just commend the commission and the mayor for putting together such a, I felt, informative meeting. And everybody was very nice and kind to each other, which is the whole point. I don't know if this public part of the meeting, we are allowed to say anything about another person who's come up to comment, but everyone took a lot away from that meeting. It was not nonsense. It was not what Terry just said, excuse me, Terry, but it wasn't that,
That's inappropriate.
it is not, it was not in.
Hold on, she's got a public comment.
That's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the comment that Terry made about Old Ocean is fine, let's just leave it alone. That's not what I heard. Maybe he was at a different meeting, but that is not what I heard. I heard there are some problems, perhaps maybe a speed bump, perhaps maybe more patrolling, you know, perhaps different things could happen, but I did not hear what he heard. And I also happen to think that when any citizen comes up here and talks to you as a council, we cannot be disrespectful to you. And I think that's what's happened along the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Next person. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Ed Bresnahan. I live at the Ocean Big Yacht Club, 5550 Riverwalk project. Obviously, the proximity that we have to it would make us wary of such a project. But I think the project has the potential for a much greater reach across Ocean Ridge. And I'm concerned not only for our community of Ocean Ridge Yacht Club, but for the town. And the concern really comes in two flavors. One flavor is the traffic. And the traffic study that's been done to date is, being kind, is minimalist. And the traffic study needs to be expanded significantly. And the second is the potential that this project has to change the whole complexion of our town as well as the town of Wayne. A 10-story building there is setting a precedent that is, from my perspective, a very bad precedent. There are other pieces of property nearby. One of them is that mangrove swamp that the same developer also owns a piece of. And I'm told that there have been surveyors in there already looking at that property. There are other marginal communities and marginally functional pieces of property along the Boynton side of the Intracoastal. Taken together, the combination of the traffic, which I don't think is just going to be limited to impact on Woolbright and Federal. I think you're going to find people like me who use Woolbright frequently, but who are going to not be using it with the projected image that we are collectively holding on what that traffic is going to be. What does that mean? That means we go to Ocean, it means we go to George Bush, and other communities are going to be impacted for that. I am part of the organization that Christine talked about, the Boynton Coalition for Responsible Development. And I'd like to ask the panel here, the commissioners, to become more active, become proactive on this subject, because I think it can seriously impact what I used to think was a really good future for Ocean Ridge, but now I'm feeling that that future is threatened. What could you do? There are things, I don't understand the sphere of what's possible, because I'm not into the municipalities and the intricacies that are involved there. But I do think that there are some proactive things that you could do, and I'm only going to scratch the surface. You folks know this way, way better than I do. But there must be some kinds of interactions that communities have on various levels. And within those interactions, I would like to ask if you can get Boynton to do their traffic study. The traffic study that was done to date was done by the builder. Guess why? If you could get the folks at Boynton to do a traffic study. I'm told there's something called a city synchronization simulation. If you could get a city synchronization simulation going, which requires that the two towns talk to each other, I think that would be pretty useful. I think the environmental considerations to date have not gone very far. And you may have a lot better understanding of what those environmental considerations have to be. I think the municipalities above the town level can be interacted with. And I think there may be some things that you could do to help the situation. We know we're not going to stop the development. We can't do that. But what we can do is get it to a point where, as Christine says, it's a reasonable development. It's one where Boynton stays within their downtown structure, where they have their high buildings, and where the areas along the Intracoastal outside of those structures, which are jewels, they don't take and destroy those jewels and have this sprawl happening. Because this one could very quickly become a second and a third and a fourth, and 10 stories sets a standard of acceptability that nobody wants.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much.
Anyone else for public comment? Come on up, Nancy.
Thank you, Mayor. Nancy Hogan, 37 Hibiscus Way. I just wanted to mention briefly 3 items. Christine talking and the concern about the development in Boynton Beach. I'm really, really excited about Boynton Beach. I think they are ready to be primed into the success of Palm Beach County. But in fact, before our economy hit the dust here, they had 22 projects online to go, and that stopped abruptly. So we do have to pay attention, and I just would ask you all to have good communication with Boynton Beach, and of course with Christine and the lead. I know I'll get good information what's happening, and I also am on the government affairs for the Chamber of Commerce, so we meet with someone from the city and CRA every month, so I do need to know. Secondly, I brought up the idea that, well, not idea, the visual I had of taking grab out of my recycling and putting it in my garbage. And I noticed an article subsequent to that meeting that Commissioner Abrams said, don't worry about it because with the equipment or whatever they have now, that the garbage, anything recycling goes into the garbage, you get credit for it. And I think you saw the numbers. They were huge, the dollar amounts that I mentioned the last time that I spoke to you. But I would say, if Commissioner Abrams really believes that, and I see him, I haven't had a chance to talk to him on this issue, that there are recycling items and there are recycling items. So the garbage is just measured in mass. So I would think that the article wasn't thorough enough, or he wasn't thinking about the detail. And I think you were, Jamie, going to check on that, follow up on that. And thirdly, I just want to keep you reported about my little neighborhood. Thank you for taking Big Brother off my street and the neon sign. I really appreciate that. But I'll tell you, I was coming over the Woolbright Bridge to Ocean Ridge, and I got caught by all the traffic that happens going in and out all the driveways on the other side between Federal and the bridge. And a guy was going fast in front of me, so by the time I got going, I didn't see him anymore. But then I got down to where our, whatever you call them up the street, where it's blocked off. He was inside those, and they were going like this. So we've had at least one incident that he went right through it. I don't know if he didn't see it coming or what happened, because I didn't visually see him going through, but he was through. And the last thing is, I really got blasted by a horn coming in the evening. It's dark, trying to take a left, coming into my road area entrance. Guy laid on his horn. He was so mad, but you can't see the street. It is a sharp turn. Think about it before we come to that conclusion. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I make one quick comment?
Sure.
Just on the recycling issue, we did get in contact with the Republic, and they've asked us if you see that occurring where garbage folks are putting recycling into a garbage truck instead of recycling truck, please contact them so that they can document it and check that out. They also mentioned that if you're putting recycling in plain garbage containers and putting it next to garbage, it's going in the garbage because they can't differentiate that.
Can I say something about it? It's real fast.
Real fast. You can say it from your chair if you want to kick it out.
Justice Brown, 39 Coconut. The recycle people, the garbage people, they took my garbage can that big. They brought back a yellow garbage can. Now, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna put my garbage in the yellow one until they give me a new one. I've been calling every day. Give me a new garbage can, green, 96 gallons. They didn't. They give me a yellow one. It's 96 gallons.
But it's yellow.
Hey, Justin, when you come over to the town hall to do the things for your lawn, mention to the town manager again, and they can make a phone call.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll make sure they'll pick it up.
Okay. Thanks, Justice. Any other public comment? All right, moving on to the regular agenda. Start out with reports. Jamie, you want to start out?
Before you
Turning
get
to
there,
public hearing.
Mr. Mayor, we had the public hearing
Oh,
item. The request has come for one more continuance until the March 7th meeting. I have notified the applicants that this would probably have to be the last continuance. If they're not ready to go next month, then at that point, it probably should be postponed and then re-advertised. But at this point, the request is for continuance till 6 PM at the March 7th meeting.
it's going to get so used to seeing it on there. I was just saying, I get so used to seeing it on there.
Yeah, I mean, and the only reason I questioned it a couple meetings back was because I didn't realize that by leaving it on the agenda, you're saving everybody work.
And
So,
money.
I mean, you have leeway as far, if you're pushing it a little bit because of my comment.
No, it's just, it's been continued several times now, and at some point, it should be re-advertised.
Okay.
Great. All right, Jamie, you're up.
You should vote on that to continue it
vote
to,
We have a
till,
comment
to
from-
6
Maybe I just
PM
want
on
to
March
vote.
7th.
I so move.
Ken, you got something to say? Oh, you got to
I
bring
made the
I'll
public
make a
comment.
motion, we continue until
I made the
next
motion.
meeting. You made it, I'll second.
Okay.
Thank you. Ken Khalil, 86 Island Drive South. You know, I just happened to be coming to the meeting tonight. This is the very first time I've heard of this. I don't know, is there a notification that, and we're neighbors? I mean, I don't know if it's good, bad, or indifferent, but,
It's been at the last two meetings.
but there should have been some sort of notification, I
You-
would imagine, to go within,
The original the original application for the public hearing was noticed as public hearings are noticed.
just in the paper.
Um,
It's supposed to go, to my knowledge, I thought we mail out certain notifications.
Ask Karen.
Yeah, you have to ask Karen.
Already so soon.
So, I don't know of any of our neighbors that know about this, and this is something that is impacting that island in one way or another, and I think a notification should go out of some fashion. It might be great, who knows, but
It's
knowledge,
it's not a rezoning, it's a replatting.
I understand.
And I think that the,
That is a subdivision
understood.
that has certain requirements pertaining to that subdivision. So I think that's a notification that should probably go to the whole subdivision. But that's whatever your code permits, but we didn't know about it. Thanks.
Thanks, Ken.
Be here March 7th.
Okay, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, Jamie.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll be very brief. I've submitted a written report to you on numerous items. Some of it's recap of things that have already occurred. But I wanted to bring two quick things, I believe, to your attention, three, actually. One, just update, there was a water main break today in town, up in the 6780 block. 6-inch water main broke, flooded a good part of the town there. It has been determined so far to be an act of God. The little tornado we had last week actually moved one of the FPL concrete poles, and apparently when that pole got reset properly, it crunched the water pipe that it levered into underground. So we had a lot of people concerned. There was a boil water notice issued for the north end of town. The water people told us that that was cautionary in nature, that we never lost full pressure on the water, so there should be no concern, health concerns on the water, but it was put in as a precautionary note for 24 hours. The water main has been fixed. The site has been returned to its somewhat former condition, which is still a mud pit, but we need some of that to drain out before they can complete those restorations. But for people that were affected by the, yes, sir?
I have a question on that.
Yes.
Who's going to pay for the repairs?
That's to be
If it's-
determined. It may,
Okay.
because of the nature of what caused it, it may end up being a multi-party insurance situation.
Okay. Can you keep us posted on that?
Yet to be seen, yes. Everything's back to normal, it's been repaired, and now it will be just the follow-up work to make sure everything's fine there. Any other questions on that? Okay. Next, I'm just seeking consensus and permission from the commission to be part of a $500 sponsorship. That would be our share, which is a budgeted line item under current events for the town, to be co-partners with Atlantis, Village of Gulf, Gulfstream, Haverhill, Hypoluxo, Manalapan, Ocean Ridge, and South Palm Beach to be co-hosts of the February League of Cities meeting, Palm Beach County League of Cities meeting. Being a small town, we're not in a position to host a big event, so once a year or so, they get all the small communities together and fund that. We do have it identified and budgeted for, but I want to make sure you're aware of it before I commit to it.
Where's the meeting held, actually?
This particular one will be at the Atlantis Country Club, sponsored by that list of cities that I gave you. Our share of it would be $500. And I referenced the general ledger account that it's budgeted into.
Do we have to, does that need a vote?
I just wanted to make sure it's budgeted,
No.
so if there's
It's already been
no
budgeted.
concerns, I just wanted to make sure you're aware of it, so you don't see our name advertised out there and wonder how that happened. Quick note on, just so you know, this month, the county commission is coming together to discuss its strategies, I believe on the 9th, I'm not sure that date, about whether or not they'll move forward on a half penny or full penny sales tax for infrastructure purposes, and they're interested in the individual towns and cities giving them lists of infrastructure projects that would make up this master list. I guess I just categorize that I haven't given them a warm and fuzzy response on this yet, but it's something I want you to think about, and if you have a strong desire to take a position in terms of whether you want to pass a resolution in support of being on a half penny or full penny sales tax, it would apply only to infrastructure, road resurfacing, storm drain stuff, some beach hardenings, things that would fit a criteria. I responded that the town might tend to be more in a donor position than a recipient position under the formulas that are currently being circulated, but as more information comes out from the county, I'll bring that to you. I just want it to be on your radar screen so you can formulate a position. Yes, sir.
Can I ask you, well, a couple of questions. You said our area, I assume that means the town?
Just the town of Ocean
Okay,
Ridge,
and you
yes.
said donor, I assume by that you mean we pay more than we get back?
Being a sales tax, I think this town would pay a large proportion of sales tax revenue versus the monies it would receive for infrastructure improvement.
Okay.
But I don't have numbers for you to tell you what that is as of
It
yet.
seems that every time we pass a tax that is going to be earmarked for something that we already are responsible for, they just take that amount of tax out of the general budget for something else anyway. So it's really just a tax hike when all is said and done. I don't see much sense in it personally.
I kind of think we ought not to push for that if we're going to wind up paying more out than we get back. But do you need something now at this meeting?
Not really, just I wanted to make you aware of it. Until the county decides really what route they're going here, there's one extra small caveat, and that is that the professional firefighters of the county are also discussing the option of putting a half penny on in the primary in August ahead of the November meeting that the county is talking about. So there's a lot of moving parts here. But I thought you ought to be aware of it because it'll become covered in the media quite a bit in the very near future as they discuss their strategy.
All right, so when you get more information, bring it back to us.
Okay. Everything else you can pretty much read in my report. Thank you for honoring Karen with her day and the nice events. Just one last note, I will be out of the office tomorrow and Wednesday representing you at Florida League of Cities Legislative Action Day in Tallahassee, stumping for our priority legislation and home rule powers. I'll be reachable by phone the entire time if you need me for anything. Otherwise, business will go on as usual here. And any other questions, I'd be happy to
Yeah, it's
field
new.
for you.
It's a new town, if you really think of it, today's the first day, first meeting rather, of a whole new town manager, chief of police, and town clerk. First time in a very long time we've had all three
And
people
in a
in new
month from now,
positions.
the attorney, so.
And you've passed your 90-day probation.
I did pass my 90-day probation, so you can still fire me any day for any reason, but, at
And a
least
new
I'm
town
permanently
attorney
here.
sitting in the back. You were late though today. I
I
noticed.
actually wanted to ask you about the 90-day evaluation. Was an actual evaluation done?
It wasn't set up as an evaluation in
It
the
was just a-
contract.
Was it
It was
probation, just a
Probation
probationary
period,
period?
so
There's a
if-
probation period and a
If you got to 90, you
kicker.
made it? Okay.
You made it to 91 if you
I
made it.
made it to
that way.
91.
Well, I for one want to compliment you on a job really well done. You have moved right into the position, Jamie, and you've done a really, really outstanding job.
I
Well,
agree.
Thank you. Everybody's been really welcoming, and of course, you spend a lot of time scrambling to meet all the people and connect all the dots, but I'm trying to be proactive and get things done as I go, so please inform me if there's anything that needs attention.
Okay,
We do.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, you do. You do a very good job collecting.
All right, moving on. Ken?
No reports.
No report. Thank you, Ken. Chief?
Attached, you'll find the monthly report for December, for the police activity along with Boynton's fire rescue report that's provided to us. I would just like to take a moment to remind everyone that February 17th, we will have from 7:30 in the morning until 9:30, the second Coffee with a Cop program. We'll bring town staff in. If you have any questions, you want to stop by for a cup of coffee, maybe a stale bagel or a donut, please feel free to do so. You don't have to stay the full 2 hours, but the last time was very enjoyable. A lot of folks came by, and I found it very informative as to what the needs of the community are when they come and tell us directly. So I invite all of you and the community to come by, please.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hal. Any questions for Hal?
I do have.
Sure.
I understand that you recently did a training session on the cameras. The cameras have been an issue that have been going on for the last year or two, so I think we could have an update. That would be good.
During my last Florida Chiefs Conference, I had the occasion to meet with several vendors. I've met with and worked with some folks from Delray that I've known for quite some time. There's been some changes in technology, which we all know how fast that changes. And there may be an option available to us to re-examine our license plate recognition system proposal in the near future. I'm waiting for additional information from additional vendors. I've had one meeting here, and I've got a half of a proposal. And I have another meeting coming up with another separate vendor, both of whom say they can do it, which is wonderful. As soon as they can show me that they can, I will prepare something for the town manager to present to the commission and see where we need to go from there.
So we might actually, by the time you get the proposals and everything like that, be looking at it more as a budgetary item for next year.
It's possible that it may be a budgetary item. It's possible that we may move forward quicker. I couldn't tell you at this point in time, to be honest with you. The decision obviously will be that of the commissions. The amount of money that it costs to put this program forward, regardless of what you do, it's probably best to look at it as a budgetary item.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any other questions for the chief? Thank you. All right, moving on to the action items. Tracy, you want to read the resolution number 11?
Do you want it read by title only or the full resolution, Mayor?
Read the whole thing, please.
Resolution number 2016-02, a resolution of the Town Commission of Ocean Ridge, Florida, approving an agreement with the law firm of Torsivia, Donlin, Gatto, and Ansay, PA, for the provision of town attorney services, authorizing the mayor or in his absence, the vice mayor to execute said agreement and providing for an effective date. Whereas town attorney Kenneth Spilius is retiring and has given the town notice that his last day as town attorney will be March 7th, 2016, and whereas the town commission has determined that it is in the best interest of the town to contract with a law firm to provide town attorney services as an independent contractor, and whereas the town solicited law firms interested in providing town attorney services to the town, and whereas after reviewing the credentials of the several firms that responded to the solicitation and interviewing 4 of the firms at an open public meeting, the town commission selected the law firm of Torsivia, Donlin, Gatto, and Ansay, PA, the firm, as its first choice to provide town attorney services to the town, subject to terms acceptable to the town, And whereas the firm accepted the terms proposed by the Town Commission regarding services to be provided, fees and costs, and corresponding duties and obligations of the parties, and whereas a formal written agreement attached hereto as Exhibit A has been negotiated and developed for Town Commission approval by the Town Attorney, Town Manager, and the firm. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Commission of Ocean Ridge, Florida, as follows. Section 1, the foregoing recitals constitute findings of fact and are incorporated as if fully set forth herein. Section 2, the agreement attached hereto as Exhibit A is hereby approved, and the mayor, or in his absence, the vice mayor, is authorized to execute same on behalf of the town. Section 3, the agreement shall become effective on the date when both parties have fully executed it.
Thank you.
I
You wanna
move
make
that
a
we adopt resolution number 2016-02, item number 11 on our February 1, 2016 agenda, as read by the clerk.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion?
And clarify by virtue of the resolution approving the agreement attached as Exhibit A.
And approve, I'll take an amendment and approve the agreement attached as Exhibit A.
Okay. Motion and second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Do you have any questions of Mr. Torcivia before he leaves?
No, I see he's here. No questions.
Yeah, are you our guy or is your partner our guy?
Well, he's our guy.
Sure.
He's our guy.
Good deal.
You're not billing us for this, are you?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I would advise you not to pay that bill when it comes in.
No, we get conflicting advice. The old town attorney says, don't pay it. The new one says, pay it.
All right, moving on to resolution number 2016-3. Tracy?
Resolution number 2016-03, a resolution of the Town Commission of Ocean Ridge, Florida, appointing Jennifer Ashton as the ex officio code enforcement special magistrate for the town of Ocean Ridge, appointing all other attorney members of the law firm of Corbett, White, Davis, and Ashton, PA, as ex officio alternate special magistrates to serve and preside over code enforcement hearings in the absence of Jennifer Ashton, establishing the term of appointment and fees to be paid for the special magistrate services approved herein, and providing for an effective date. Whereas the law firm of Torcivia, Donlan, Gatto, and Ansay, PA has been selected to provide town attorney services to the town, and whereas the attorney Glenn Torcivia has been serving as the town's code enforcement special magistrate, and whereas it would constitute an unacceptable conflict of interest for Glenn Torcivia to continue to serve as special magistrate while his law firm represents the town as town attorney, and whereas the town commission seeks to appoint a new ex officio code enforcement special magistrate pursuant to section 16-1 of the town's code of ordinances, and whereas Jennifer Ashton of the law firm of Corbett, White, Davis, and Ashton, PA, Corbett Law Firm, has experience in serving municipalities in Palm Beach County as a code enforcement special magistrate, and is capable and willing to serve in that capacity on an ex officio basis for the town of Ocean Ridge. And whereas the other attorneys of the Corbett Law Firm have extensive municipal law experience, including in the area of code enforcement, and are capable and willing to serve in the capacity of ex officio special magistrate for the town of Ocean Ridge, should Attorney Ashton be unavailable to preside over any particular code enforcement hearing. And whereas Attorney Ashton has agreed to provide special magistrate services to the town during the term of this appointment being 2 years at the rate of $190 per hour. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Commission of Ocean Ridge, Florida, as follows. Section 1, the foregoing recitals constitute findings of fact and are incorporated as if fully set forth herein. Section 2, Attorney Jennifer Ashton is hereby appointed ex officio code enforcement special magistrate for the town of Ocean Ridge for a term of 2 years, and will provide the services described in section 16-1 of the town's code of ordinances at a compensation rate of $190 per hour. In her unavoidable absence, the other attorneys in the law firm of Corbett, White, Davis, and Ashton are appointed as ex officio alternate code enforcement special magistrates on the same terms and conditions as Ms. Ashton. Section 3, nothing contained within this resolution shall be deemed to create an employer-employee relationship between the town and Attorney Ashton or the other members of the Corbett Law Firm. Section 4, this resolution shall become effective upon its adoption.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I move to adopt resolution number 2016-03, memo item number 12 on the February 1, 2016 agenda, as read into the record by the clerk.
Okay. Second?
Second?
Motion and second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. All right, reading, next thing, second reading of adoption ordinances. Tracy, would you read the heading, please? You only have to read the whole ordinance.
Ordinance number 614, an emergency ordinance of the Town of Ocean Ridge, Florida, changing the date of the town's election in 2016 from the second Tuesday of March to March 15, 2016, the date of the presidential preference primary election date, providing for newspaper publication of notice, and providing for an effective date.
Okay. Motion?
I move that we adopt ordinance number 614, memo item number 13 on the February 1st, 2016 agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any public comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And lastly on the agenda,
Oh,
Vice
all
Mayor
right.
Winales.
I have already asked you about the cameras, but I did want to follow up on our workshop. I think the feeling of the entire town was very clear about staying with what we had, but I think the suggestions made should be examined further. Some of them were excellent. People did their homework, and so I've spoken to our town manager, and I wanted to ask him how we were going to move forward with those suggestions, seeing what's viable, what isn't, what will be an improvement, or what we should just leave alone. So, Jamie, you want to pick it up from there?
I'll just recap. It was, first of all, thank you to everybody in the community and the commission for a great workshop. It was very civil, there were lots of ideas, everything went well. We at staff level made notes of pretty much what everybody said, and I would just suggest to you that even if there is no major redesign or reconfiguration, there was reoccurring themes of just simple things we could do to enhance the experience up there a little bit. And we want to take that into consideration at staff level. Several things I starred that were reoccurring themes. They had to do with sight lines and landscaping, stop bars, maybe some very low-level lighting, some enhanced stop sign visuals. There was talk about shuttle service with Boynton Beach, to advocate that they provide better shuttle service to their beach. There was talk about speeding and lighting, illuminated stop signs. There was even talk about asking citizens to weigh in on some of this stuff when we came up with a plan for what I would call the low-hanging fruit, the stuff that we could easily do to enhance the experience up there without making any significant changes in terms of routes or blocking roadways or any of that nature. So we have not moved on this because it just happened last week and we had other things pressing, as you know, but we're prepared to talk about this internally and just see if some of these little things that we could tweak could be brought to bear on the highway or on the boulevard at this time. So a couple of residential and association groups have contacted us about permissions for enhancements in their own signage, and one of the things I've suggested to them is that we don't want a hodgepodge of signage, where everybody does their own thing and it just looks kind of crazy and commercial. So we'll look at that issue and see if there's a consistent look and feel we could do to signage up there. So we're looking at the simple things that won't cost the town a lot of money or upset the apple cart in any way. And then as to the bigger issues, the bigger ideas that were floated, we just have to analyze those one by one and come back with some recommendations for you if any of those make sense.
All right, well, I suggest what we do then, if we're discussing this now, which I'd rather if it's discussed during your report, because that would have been a better time to do this, or to use your report. That you, since we just happened Wednesday, I think what you do is, like you said, you bring all those ideas together and then come back to us with different things, because there were different ideas. A lot of it was not just leaving it alone, but signage and things of that nature, and just kind of codify what the consensus of what people were looking for to do, and then bring it back and we'll have a discussion on it at a meeting, and then we'll go forward from there.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
I think, it's interesting, just from public comment, we can tell that sometimes we each take a slightly different nuanced answer from a meeting like that. The sense that I had of it is that for that roadway is that perhaps the overriding theme should be that we need to foster the idea that it's a pedestrian walkway with vehicular traffic as opposed to a vehicular roadway with pedestrian traffic, if you understand my
Oh,
point.
yeah, drive down
I
there.
think
You
what-
get that
what I-
understanding every time somebody gives you that evil eye.
What you
on the
kept
road.
getting from there is that it's a tavern, it's a meeting hall, we love being able to bike, and so however we can, if the commission agrees with that kind of as a concept, I think that's where we were all going, and sometimes we trip over, well, this one wants a speed bump, I don't, this one wants a signage, this one wants to rename it a promenade. We need to kind of look for ideas that coalesce around that concept that we view it as a pedestrian walkway with vehicular traffic.
All right, well, I expect that all the commissioners would come to Jamie and just give us any
Right.
ideas that we came up, and then during the next meeting or the meeting after that, we should discuss it further. That's what the workshop was all about, was basically bring everybody's idea together and see what we come up with.
And Mayor,
If
you're
we
right.
come up with anything, but.
If we had our specific proposals ready, we would bring it under my report. I was just responding to
Okay,
the follow-up to the question.
got it. All right, thank you. Any other thing?
That's it.
You got a question, Matt?
Yeah, come on up, Eddie. Name and address for the record.
I think we missed a major thing, and that is.
Can't hear you, Betty.
I think we missed, this is not working.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's working either.
It's on, but it's not on.
Do you want to say that for next meeting then? Just throwing it
I
out.
think you need to come up with fines if people don't do what they're supposed to do. And I think if you start out with that, you'll be able to control all the malfunctions of the law, or whatever you want to call them. People respond very well to being fined. Thank you.
Thank you. Terry, yeah. Yep.
Right.
Terry Brown, Harbor Drive South. This is working, right?
We can hear you.
I didn't want to comment on Evolution because I'll get attacked. But I wanted to comment on the selection of the law firm. Is Glenn still here?
We are,
There he is. I happen to have a personal relationship with his wife, not in that sense.
really?
I know her.
And you're
I used to
admitting.
work with her 25 years ago, right?
Are you taking this down, Mrs. Brown?
Yes.
I have no relationship with Glenn, however, and he's been a professional cat.
I have a relationship with Glenn.
That's right.
Oh, that's right. Oh.
This is devolving.
In the event of full disclosure, I also have a relationship in that our kids used to play together.
All right, all right.
So
What I wanted to comment
so the
about
wives
the
of
law firm,
Ocean Ridge.
and I listened to most of the presentations, if you know I was here. I missed the last one. But he has a lawyer and his law firm that's reported to be an expert on sea level rise. Am I right? Aaron Gadu? And this is important for this community. There seems to be confusion about what's causing some of the wet streets in this town. They're lost in this concept that it's a drainage problem, and that ain't what it is.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Meeting adjourned.